Oh, welcome to the giant FU of the year.
What?
Yeah.
The giant FU? The giant fuck you.
Yes.
Just for those of you who don't know what FU means.
Yeah. So Obama is on his way out and Trump is on his way in.
Ooh,
and
boy.
Obama has decided to be a bit of a dick on his way out. Now, generally presidents have a pretty free reign in the last couple of months before they're out in January. And depending on the president, some of them take advantage to try to ram things in. Others, most of the time, just
Sit there and go. Go on vacation.
I'm going on vacation. Goodbye.
I'm going to go collect my huge pension. And
For the past year, Obama has been on a one giant vacation. Like, he's been traveling the world, saying goodbye and trying to do all these things. But no, he has done a couple of really nice things. He's pardoned a lot of people, which is always a nice thing that presidents do on their way out, which is good. But this year he decided to... now, this is a good thing, not necessarily an FU, but he decided to put a ban on Arctic drilling. So, for the oil people out there, they're like, okay, whoop-de-doo. They're like, we weren't planning on drilling in the Arctic anyways. So that was a good piece of environmental news, so good for him. He's trying to make it so Obamacare can't be repelled. He's trying to make it against the laws, which... Yeah, and Trump has been pretty clear right from the beginning. He's getting rid of Obamacare.
I don't even know what Obamacare really is. Is it like, what is it? It's like an insurance?
It's insurance.
Or is it cheaper insurance?
It's cheaper insurance that's covered partly by the government, and everybody has to have coverage. It doesn't matter if you're sick or dying. You're on it. It doesn't matter prerequisites. So everybody has to have it. But in Canada, we have free Medicare. So it's never really been a big deal.
Which sucks. Our healthcare system is horrible.
Yeah, it's still... Yeah. No.
So you got to take the good with the bad. Do you want to pay or do you want to have bad fucking service and have to wait months, years for surgeries and... blah, 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 hours to see a doctor.
Yes. But one of the biggest FUs that Obama has decided to do was, as the U.S. has a permanent seat on the UN Council that has the ability to veto anything that comes through. Same with Russia, China, France, and one rotating member. They all have this ability to veto anything. So any bills that come through that can be binding to the world, it can be vetoed by any one of those countries. The UN Assembly decided to put through a bill stating that what Israel is doing is a bad thing. Now, the Americans have been an ally of Israel since its inception in 1947. They've backed them and they've used that veto numerous times to help save their ally. Now, for some strange reason, this bill came through and it basically states that what Israel is doing in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank is illegal. And what Israel is doing is building cities and towns for Jews to live in, the people of Israel, right? To us, doesn't sound like a big deal, but to the Palestinians, it is a huge, huge deal. And so this bill went through, and it basically said what Israel is doing is bad. They shouldn't be building things. They shouldn't be settling. And normally the U.S. would say veto, but they didn't. For some strange reason, the Obama administration told their UN ambassador not to veto it. They said let it pass. And now Israel is being condemned by the UN, which they normally are, so it's not an abnormal thing. But to top it all off, Kerry, the foreign affairs minister, or not minister, department head, has also did a 45-minute speech at the UN Assembly bitching at Israel.
Why does everybody hate Israel? I don't understand. What's going on? What are they doing? Do they own this Gaza Strip? Is that part of their country? Is that where their borders are? I don't know.
It's a tangled web.
My goodness.
Israel is, and it's basically it goes back a long ways, and it's one of those things that's really hard to get into.
What is our UN? Is it like our world government? Is that what the hell that is? We don't want a world government, but the UN is there to...
Well, the United Nations is there to set up foreign aid, disaster relief, peacekeeping missions, UNICEF.
Peacekeeping missions. Let's go blow shit up to keep peace.
Well...
That makes sense.
No, they don't.
Let's go punch my neighbor in the face to keep peace.
They don't normally blow stuff up.
Okay.
No, nothing in Syria is UN-led.
Whatever. It's all bad shit in my mind anyways.
So
why don't we just stay out of it?
So the Obama administration has done this, and...
Didn't he kick a bunch of Russian people out, too?
Oh, yeah, we're about to get to that, too.
Kicked a whole bunch of Russians out.
Obama made a speech to Congress stating that they have proof that the Russians interfered in the election to help get Trump elected, and they imposed even more sanctions on Russia and kicked
why don't the Americans
ambassadors.
Why don't they want to work with Russia? I don't understand that. What's so bad about working with Russia?
Since communism fell, I don't know why they don't have a great relationship. Why they aren't working together to build a Russian-American world
It's two alpha
government.
males going, we want the world, we want the world, we want the world.
Well, okay.
We want the world.
Now, Putin is definitely an alpha male, but, he just wants what's he wants what's best for him.
Yeah,
but he also wants what's best for Russia to a point. He still wants what's best for him. He's done a lot of things that we would consider dictatorship.
Yeah, isn't it more of a dictatorship over in Russia than?
Yeah, well, definitely,
because he didn't really win an election, did he?
Okay,
he was more of
no. Okay, from what I understand, if I remember correctly, he won the race for president, and the president used to be the main person in Russia. Now, you can only be president for so many years. Okay?
He's been in there forever.
Oh, no. So he played out his terms as president, and then what he did was he ran for prime minister, because they have a president and a prime minister, and then he made it so the prime minister had all the power instead of the president. So his buddy is president, which means nothing, and he's prime minister, which means something. So he's basically... He's not calling himself a dictator because he's democratically elected. But, he's just... He wants power, and...
He's playing the system. That's all
he is
doing.
playing
He's
the
playing
system.
the system. I just... I don't see what's so bad about working with other countries and, who cares? Obviously they have different ideals than us, but...
No, yes, there are different ideals, and, Trump has said he wants to work with Russia, and then Obama goes, well, we have proof that Russia did this, so we're going to kick out their ambassadors.
What if Hillary won the election? I wonder if this would all be going on. Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
There'd be nothing.
Why does he get big stones when he's on his way out? Where was his big stones when he was at year one?
Exactly. That's the thing.
That's my biggest problem with any politician. When they're going out the door, they do more than they do the things that are more controversial.
But that's the thing. That's the point, is they can get away with more because they don't have to worry about being reelected.
And that shouldn't be an issue. You should be doing things, and anything you run on to get elected should be like, if I was running for Prime Minister of Canada, I wouldn't get elected because I'd be like, no more child tax benefit. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. People sit there and talk about wealth redistribution, and that's the biggest form of it that we have in Canada. You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't get elected for that fact. But it would be part of a campaign, and I wouldn't hide it. I'd be like, I'm not hiding anything. This is what I want to do, and this is why I want to do it. And so, I think that, doing stuff like that is cowardly. It's very cowardly.
It is, and as I said, as I started off, it's a giant F-U. He's making it harder for his successor to run the country. And Trump has stated...
Like him. He's having a temper tantrum.
He is having a temper tantrum.
I didn't get my way.
Well, yeah, my candidate didn't win.
What do you do when your kids throw a temper tantrum? You put them in their room. Obama, go to your room.
And unfortunately, there's no way to do that with the president. And the president has almost free reign to do what he wants. And he would have had more free reign if the Republicans hadn't won both the House and the Senate.
Do you think that like people actually in politics actually run because they want to make the world better, or do you think they just do it because it's a pretty cushy job,
Some
well paid? Like okay,
wanna
say out of
make,
100 politicians, how many do you think want to make a better world out there?
I would say half.
You would
The
say
other half
half,
are going for the job.
Still not very good. I would say way less than half. I would say maybe 1 out of 4, but
25%.
yeah, I would still even either one of those is bad.
No.
It should be like 90% want to make the world a better place.
You're right.
You know what I mean? And so like, this is a prime example of how everybody loved Obama and now he's being a little bitch because
Well, people still love Obama. That's
You
the
know?
thing. It's not like the populace really hates him. He's just throwing a temper tantrum. And I think this is poor sportsmanship on his.
It
He
is.
lost. He should accept it. For that matter, I just remember reading it. It's like Hillary didn't even have a concession speech on the night that she lost. She didn't do it until a
Yeah,
day
she
or
did.
two later.
yeah, she did it the next day or something.
Yeah, and it's just like most people always give a concession speech.
I don't
saying,
think she thought she was going to lose, so I think she probably had to write one.
No,
I think she was like, "Oh, we're going to win," so I didn't
No.
even think about losing.
it's true. I bet you that's exactly what it was. Now, Trump has a lot of work to do. He has to undo some damage in the UN. He has to... Now, here's the best part. Russia, after their diplomats were kicked out of America, you know what Putin did? For Christmas, he invited all the U.S. diplomats to Moscow for a Christmas party with their family and kids and had a massive party. That's what he did. Because Russia...
I think that was more of a show. I think that was more of a, I can be better than you,
And you know what?
it was for show. And,
But it may be for show, but
then,
he did it.
I just heard that on the radio that Trump told every ambassador to every other country that was under Obama, you got to quit.
Well, it is a habit for ambassadors, every presidential change, ambassadors to hand in the resignation, and then the president goes, I accept, no, you're staying, I accept.
Oh, okay.
I
I think he's kind of went, I'm not taking any of you.
yeah,
kind
no,
of
no, no.
how I took it.
I think that's very true. I don't think he's keeping any of the old ambassadors because they are, they're not going to be friendly to him. So I kind of understand what he's doing. Trump does have a big hill to climb to get out of the Obama debt,
It's going to be interesting to watch.
and it is good.
interesting.
I'm looking forward to it because honestly,
Can you imagine him and Justin Trudeau
if
talking?
if
Oh my
he does
God.
half the stuff that he said, yeah, I know that's gonna be so much fun because he's just gonna
Trudeau's gonna be his little bitch.
He's gonna bend him over and have
my
his way
God.
with him. Man, it's gonna be so funny.
We're going to end up part of the United States. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? Oh my god. Could you imagine Trump and Trudeau sitting across the table from each other? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Imagine their wives.
Oh my goodness. Wow. But it doesn't matter. Trudeau's not gonna, like I said before. I said
come on.
show, he's not gonna be prime minister much longer. It's gonna be Kevin O'Leary, and then
Even there's a call in the general media. It's like, we have to come up with a plan to deal with Trump. I'm like, whoa, wow, you almost sound like he's going to invade Canada or something.
get your pitchforks and your hockey sticks.
It'll be very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Because in the very, very worst Trump does nothing. And he's just full of hot air. In which case,
But I don't.
whoop-de-doo.
I don't think he will. I think
No, he's going to do something.
He's gonna build that wall, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine? Oh my! Wow! That's gonna be something else, eh? That is gonna be something else if he builds a wall. And then what's next? A wall in Canada? He's gonna build a wall for Canada. He's gonna make us pay for it, and Justin Trudeau's gonna.
I think we'll be more than happy to build a wall after he does that.
probably. We don't want you damn people
It's like,
over here.
no, we'll build a wall. Thank you very much.
No
Thank you.
problems.
No problems.
Yeah.
We'll build it. Yeah.
No problems, man. I just kind of it makes me just solidifies my stance even more on how I hate the government. Well, I'm not going to sit there and be like I hate government totally. I believe there has to be some sort of
system.
something.
Yeah.
But our system right now is like garbage. It needs to be fixed, and it needs to be overhauled. Just elect me prime minister. I'll fix it all. You guys are going to hate me. There's going to be a lot of people who hate me because I'm going to do things that, and they'll even affect me. But I'll do it. Somebody's got to make those hard choices. And Trump hopefully will. And then we'll get Kevin O'Leary, and he'll make his choices to help his rich friends, and Trump will make it, and it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. Man, I tell you. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Share this video with all your Obama lovers, all your Trump haters, all your Trump lovers, all your Obama haters.
Everybody. Show it to everybody, because everybody will get a laugh out of this one.
Oh, definitely.
Because we're laughing.
I'm looking forward to the ride. I'm going, seatbelt.
Yeah. Put on my seatbelt.
Let's
this
do
is
it.
going to be fun.
It's going to bring a lot of topics for our show. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, guys, welcome to Coull Discussions. Trump's at it again. You're going to be hearing that a lot.
Third time this week.
That's right.
Damn it. We got to talk about something else.
Man, Trump, stop making news so we can talk about other stuff. All right, guys. We're going to stop rambling.
Yeah.
See you later. See you next week.
See you.
Go back and check out our last videos. Bye.